Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining for our 30-minute Vinyasa practice. I hope everyone is doing well this morning, and if I haven't said hi to you individually yet, let me say or extend a welcome to everyone all together. Let's take 3 breaths to become present for our practice. You can let your eyes close down. Nice seated posture will be good. And then draw a deep breath in. Continue breathing in as long as you can do that without straining. And then as you exhale, slowly let the breath go, not too quickly. And then again, a deep breath in. Continue breathing in as long as you're able without straining. And then slowly let the breath go. One more time, same as the last 2. And allow yourself now just to become completely present to your practice, feeling your body sitting on your mat. And that's it. You can let your eyes open now. Let's begin our practice in a seated posture. And we'll begin, as we often do, with just movement. So look to the right, and then to the left, and then again to the right, and to the left. And one more time, just looking right, and then looking left. Let your head come back to center. Lift the chin just a little bit, and then bring your chin to your chest. Just a nodding motion a few times. And then chin to chest, and maybe one more time. And bring the chin towards the chest, and then lift the chin back so it's in a nice neutral position. Now left ear towards left shoulder. Not too much of a stretch. And then to the other side. And again. And to the right. And back to the left. Left ear towards left shoulder. And right ear towards right shoulder. And then back to center. Let's just circle the arms, both arms at the same time. Do it nice and slow. I even started out a little too quickly. And then maybe go back the other way a few times. I love this little sequence that we've settled into, particularly first thing in the morning, just to begin to feel the range of motion in the joints. Bring the arms out to a T now, palms face up, and kind of get everything moving. Get all those joints lubricated really nicely. And lift the arms up one more time. And then exhale and bring your hands to heart center. Press the palms together, let the elbows come out. And then reach the arms out, flip the palms so they face up, bend the elbows, touch the top of the shoulders. And again, you can do that with the arms out if you like. And maybe one more time, just noticing that range of motion that we have in our elbows. And then reach the arms out, make little fists, and let's rotate the hands at the wrists. And maybe back the other way. And then open the hands. Let's let the fingers dance a little bit. You know, if you want to do this practice on your own, you can extend this time, this period of just movement. Let's make our way to our back and maybe spend 10, 15 minutes even doing it. Bend the left knee, bring the knee so that it's right above the hip and then across the body. And then straighten the leg so the knee moves away from you and then off to the left and then back towards the chest. And we're going to go around about 3 ways, 3 times rather, very intentionally, noticing how that feels in the hip on the left side. And then bring it back to center and straighten the leg. And then bend the right knee and bring the knee across the body over to the left and then straighten the leg so the knee moves away from you and then off to the right. And just as we did on the other side, about 3 times around. And maybe one more. And now straighten the leg. Bend both knees now, and then straighten. And bend, and straighten. And one more time, bend, and straighten. And pick the legs up a little bit, press the palms into the mat, and then rotate the feet simultaneously at the ankles, going around a couple of times one way, and then a couple of times back the other way. Now bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet down to the mat, and now lay down all the way on your back. Then once you're there, straighten both legs and then bend the left knee. Hug the left knee into your chest with both hands. You can interlace the fingers here. Now hug that left knee towards the left shoulder until you feel a stretch in the back of that left leg, probably in the hamstring. And then straighten the left leg, press the left heel up towards the sky, and then maybe pull that foot back a little bit, keeping the leg straight. Notice the big stretch all along the back of the leg. That's it. Now bend the knee and hug the knee again into the chest. And then straighten that left leg and slowly let the heel float down to the mat. Try and keep the leg straight as you do that. Now bend the right knee, hug it into your chest. And then straighten the leg. And see if you can pull that foot back, press into the left heel a little bit maybe, so that that left, or the right foot rather, is coming back sort of right over your face. And then bend the knee, hug it into the chest second time. And then release it, reach it straight up to the sky, and slowly let that right heel float down to the mat. Once the heel lands, bring soles of the feet together into inverted cobbler pose. Press the pinky toe side of the feet into the mat, and the knees are apart from one another. Press gently into the palms and just lift the hips off the mat a little bit, and then release the hips. Bring the knees together. Press the soles of the feet into the mat and lift your hips into a very gentle bridge pose. Reach the arms up and overhead so the back of your hands touch down on the floor behind you, and then release the tailbone to the mat. Once you're there, pick the feet up off the mat, hug both knees into your body, and then release the feet up to the sky into legs at the wall pose. Now bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. We'll flow through that again. Now the soles of the feet come together, knees apart into our inverted cobbler pose. Take a breath. Now the knees come together. Soles of the feet press into the mat. Lift the hips. Now reach the arms up and overhead. And let the back of the hands touch down on the floor behind you. And then exhale. Release the hands. Release the tailbone. Then reach the feet up to the sky, legs up the wall pose. Press the tailbone down, reach up through the heels, relax the back of the shoulders. And let's go through that all one more time. Soles of the feet come down to the mat, then soles of the feet touch, knees come apart. Take a breath. Now bring the knees back together. Lift the hips. Reach the arms up and overhead. Press the hips a little bit higher. And then release the tailbone to the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. And then reach the feet up to the sky, legs up the wall pose. And you can let your knees bend and just roll to a seat. Once you're seated, find a nice cross-legged position. Breathe in deeply so that your spine lengthens. And then left ear towards left shoulder. Make sure your shoulders are level. Relax the right shoulder a little bit. Now bring your chin to your chest. And then right ear towards right shoulder. Relax that left shoulder a bit. And then lift the chin high. Now let's just let the head roll around at the top of the shoulders. And go around a few times one way. And then back the other direction a few times that way. Just feeling that wonderful dynamic stretch in the cervical spine and the neck. And after you've gone around a few times, come back to center, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, take a twist to the left. Bring your right hand to your left knee. The left hand, of course, comes down behind you. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, twist more deeply, but relaxing into the pose instead of forcing your way into it. And then let it go. And let's flow to the other side. Left hand comes to right knee. Right hand is down behind you. Breathe in deeply so the spine lengthens. And then exhale and twist, looking over that right shoulder, again, surrendering into the pose instead of trying to force your way into it, particularly this early in a practice. Back to center now. Reach the arms high. Bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, press the palms towards the sky, press down on the sitting bones. One more thing, draw your navel in. So you kind of roll back on the sitting bones a little bit. Now stretch up even higher, really reach through the palms, and then release the hands out to a T. Bring the right hand down, keep that arm long. Now you can bend the right elbow a little if you want. As you stay grounded in the left sitting bone, reach the left hand up and over to the right and feel that big stretch on the left side body. Now engage your core as you rise up. Left hand comes down, keep that arm straight to start. Now bend the left elbow and reach with the right hand, staying grounded in the right sitting bone. And inhale and rise back up. Now just a couple of times more on each side. Just getting into the dynamic stretching. Notice how that feels on the right side body. Try and keep your core engaged through the whole movement. And one more time. And that's it. Roll over the knees. Let's come to table pose. Check your alignment in table before we begin, making sure your hands are under your shoulders. Maybe bring the hands even a little bit closer together so that they're really just shoulder width apart, knees about hip width apart, toes either tucked or untucked. I untuck mine because that feels best for me. Now drop your belly and let's find a cow pose. Lift the chin a little higher and reach the tailbone away from the knees. And then exhale into cat pose, moving slowly into cat pose and bringing the forehead down more deliberately towards the knees so you deepen the back bend and you press the hands into the mat at the same time. Now continue flowing between cow on the inhale and cat on the exhale. Maybe slow it down a little bit. And one more. Dropping your belly into cow. And then exhaling into cat. And then bring your spine back to neutral. And then from there, keep the right hand on the mat. Reach the left hand up and look up towards the thumb on the left hand. Now bring the left hand under the body and tap the right shoulder. That right arm stays straight. Now press into the right hand and reach up and look up. And exhale and bring the hand under and tap the shoulder. And last time on this side, reach up and look up. And then as you exhale, bring the hand under and then back to table pose. Press in the left hand and reach the right hand up. Look up towards the thumb on the right hand and then bring that right hand under, tap the left shoulder, then press in the left hand and reach up and look up. Second one on this side, under the body, tap and reach up. And a last one, under the body and reach high. And then bring that right hand down so it meets the left hand. Let's reset the spine. Cow pose and cat pose just once, very intentionally. Press the hands into the mat. Draw the navel up a bit if you can. And then as you exhale, come back to table pose. Now from table pose, press your hips back to your heels. Walk your hands forward now as far as you can, keeping the hips on the heels. Now glide forward through table pose. Drop your hips, press your chest forward, lift the chin a bit into a back bend. Now press back towards child's pose. And we'll just continue flowing, gliding forward and pressing back. And a couple more. Here you can regulate your speed in whatever way you want. You can go faster or you can go slower, depending on what works for you this morning, what resonates with your body. Now come back to a neutral spine, and then from there, pick the right knee up, and then bring the knee forward towards the right shoulder. Maybe you can touch the shoulder with the knee, let the knee drop down, then straighten the leg, and then bend the knee and lift it up as high as you can, and then bring it forward, touching the shoulder. Let the knee drop down, straighten the leg. And as you know, we're just making circles with the knee. Let's do one more on this side. And finish by reaching that right leg off to the right if you can. Press both hands into the mat. We're building strength in the core with this motion, or with this posture rather, and then release that right knee down. Let's go to the other side now. Bring the right knee up, and then touch the, left knee up, touch the left shoulder, and then let the knee drop down, straighten the leg. Now bend the knee, lift the knee as high as you can, keeping both hands pressing into the mat. Touch the shoulder if you can, then let the knee drop down. And one more time around. Then when you're done, pick that left knee up, reach the knee off to the left, and then straighten the left leg, pressing that left heel away from you. And then bend the knee and bring it down. We're back to table pose. Drop the belly, lift the chin, cow pose, and exhale into cat one more time. Then come back to a neutral spine, tuck your toes and lift your hips, and let's find downward facing dog. Once you're in downward facing dog, start to pedal it out, but pedal it out really slowly. So go about half the speed that you think you should. Slow it down quite a bit. And continue pedaling it out. A couple more times on each side. Now lift the left leg up and find three-legged dog, slowly moving into the pose, lifting the left knee up, bending the left knee, pressing into the hands, and then level your hips and bring that left foot down. We're going to go to the other side now. Pick the right foot up, open the hips to the right, work on stacking the right hip over the left hip. This is three-legged dog, of course. One more breath, and level the hips, and bring the foot down. Press the heels down towards the mat. Feel the stretch, the whole back body. On an inhale, pick the left leg up, and then step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Press back on the right heel. That right knee is off the mat still. Now straighten the left leg. Press the left hip back. Reach the head forward and just notice the stretch you're creating on the back of the left leg. Now bend the left knee. You can let that right knee drop down a little bit as you lift your head up, pressing back on the right heel. And then straighten the left leg. Reach the head forward. And one more time, bend the knee. Lift the head a bit, press your chest forward. And then straighten the left leg. Bring the hands to the mat if you were up on fingertips the way I was. And now reach your left leg up high and bring the left foot down so it meets the right foot. Press down on the heels. Glide forward to plank pose. And then from plank pose, bring your knees to the mat. Chest and chin are going to follow as you bring yourself into cobra pose. Elbows stay bent in cobra, chest pressing forward, pubic bone pressing down. Take a breath. And then let it go. Release it. Now tuck your toes, push to plank, and bring your hips into downward facing dog. Press the heels down again as you press both hands into the mat, lengthening the whole back body all the way from the hands to the hips, and then from the hips to the heels. On an inhale, let your right leg rise, and then step the right foot forward, bringing it between the hands. You can come up on fingertips here if you like, and then straighten the right leg, pressing the right hip back. See if you can pull the left hip forward a little bit. Now reach your head forward even more. And bend the right knee. Press back on that left heel. Lift your head a little higher, press your chest forward, and then straighten the right leg. Reach your head forward again. Pull that left hip forward a little bit as the right hip presses back, and then bend the right knee. Let your hips drop down. Press your chest forward. And one more time. Straighten the leg. Reach your head forward. And let the knee bend now. Press your palms into the mat. Reach that right leg all the way up and overhead. And then bring the right foot down. So it meets the left foot. We've come to down dog again. Now glide forward to plank. Take a deep breath in plank. Press the mat away from you with both hands. And on an exhale, bring your knees to the mat. Chest and chin follow as you come into cobra pose, our second cobra pose. Maybe a little higher this time, maybe a little deeper back bend for you. And then release. Release all the way down. Bring the arms out to a T. And on an inhale, lift the arms up. The chest comes up off the mat. Now lift the feet up off the mat into an airplane version of locust pose. Lift up even a little higher. And then exhale and bring the hands to the mat. Bring the feet to the mat. Come up to table pose. Now reach the left hand forward. Right foot reaches back into table extension pose. Bring elbow towards knee and round the spine really deeply, letting your head drop down. And then reach back out. Do it a second time. Elbow comes towards knee and reach back out. And one more time on this side. Elbow to knee and reach it out. And then bring the left hand down and the right knee down. Now over to the other side, right hand reaches forward, left foot reaches back. You can point the toes on that left foot. Reach through the hand a little bit more and stretch through the toes on that left foot. Now bring your elbow to your knee and reach out. Second time, elbow towards knee and reach it out. And this is the last one, elbow towards knee and stretch it out. And then bring the hand down and the knee down. Press your hips to the right. Walk your hands forward a few inches for me. Now, hips come forward and then off to the left. And just make some beautiful big circles with the hips. Go around a few times one direction. And then when the time is right, reverse direction, go back the other way. Then come back to table pose. Let your hips drop to the mat. Swing your legs around in front. Bring the soles of the feet together into cobbler pose. Breathe in deeply in cobbler pose. Maybe bring the heels a little bit closer to you, feeling that stretch on the inner part of the thighs, if you like. And breathe. Couple more breaths. Feeling the spine lengthening with each inhale. Now bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet and cup the hands over one another. Then let's float our cobbler pose so that the feet come up off the mat. Now bring the left hand to the left foot, the right hand to the right foot. So we're grasping the pinky toe side of our feet, and then straighten the legs, slowly. Trying to maintain balance, keep the spine long. Press the heels away so you'll feel a big stretch in the back of the legs. One more breath. Now soles of the feet come back together. And that's it. Straighten the legs now. sitting on the mat with your heels pressing away from you. I'm just checking the time. Let's bend the left knee and bring the sole of the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Now sit up nice and tall. So the sitting bones are pressing down. And then hug the knee in, that left knee, with the right arm. So the knee is hugged nicely into your chest. At the same time, press that right heel away from you, and then bring the left hand down behind. Now breathe in deeply so your spine gets long, and exhale and twist looking over the left shoulder, softening into the pose. We're going to find 3 more breaths here. And 2 more. And 1 more breath. We'll let it go. Let's find the other side now. The sole of the right foot comes to the outside of the left thigh. Now hug that right knee in with the left arm and press the left heel away from you. So the toes are pointing straight up. The right hand is down behind you. Breathe in deeply. And then exhale and find your twist. 2 more breaths, just like that. Breathing in deeply so the spine lengthens on the inhale. And on the exhale, explore your space for twisting, seeing what's available there for you to twist. 1 more breath. And let it go. Come back to center, release the legs, maybe shake them out a little bit. And then bend the knees, flip the palms so they face up. Let's roll all the way down to the back. Once you're on your back, reach your heels to the sky and the legs up a wall pose. Press the palms into the mat. Press the heels high. At the same time, press your sacrum down. Now bend the knees and let the feet come down to the mat. We're going to prepare for a bridge pose. Press the feet into the mat and lift your hips. If you can, tuck your shoulder blades under your body, under your back, and bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Maybe lift your hips a little bit higher. Let's find 2 more breaths in this bridge pose. And 1 more. Good, now release the tailbone. And then hug the knees into your body. Keep the back of your head on the mat. Straighten the legs into legs up the wall pose. Now reach your arms up and overhead so the fingertips are reaching towards the big toes. And then slowly rock all the way forward. Reach the arms out to a T and fold forward over the extended legs. Let your head drop down. Reach the top of the head towards the big toes. For many of you, that's going to create a big stretch in the lower part of the back. Just breathe into that stretch, bending the knees. If you're creating too much sensation, either in the low back or in the back of the legs. 1 more breath. Now chin on chest around the spine as you rise. And then bend the knees and all the way down on your back again. Soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to go through that little flow 1 more time. Press the feet into the mat and lift your hips into bridge pose, tucking the shoulder blades towards one another under your body. 2 more breaths in bridge pose. And 1 more. And that's it. Release it. Once the tailbone lands, hug the knees in. Straighten the legs, reach the heels to the sky, reach the fingertips towards the big toes, straightening the arms. Now bring your arms out to a T a little bit and rise back up. Try and keep that 90-degree angle between the upper body and the lower body. Then let the heels land, reach up high, and exhale, fold forward over both legs. Let your head drop down. Couple more breaths. And one more. Now chin on chest, round the spine to rise, and then come to a cross-legged position. With the hands on the knees, take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, take a twist to the left. Press down on both sitting bones. And we're going to find 3 deep breaths, excuse me, twisting to our left. 2 more. And 1 more breath. And let it go. Come back to center. Now cross your legs the other way. And then take your twist to the right. 2 more breaths in the twist. And 1 more. And let it go. Come back to center. Hands on knees. You can let your eyes close down. And I'd like you to take a moment and just imagine your spine, all the way from the tailbone up to the base of the skull. Now relax your shoulders a little bit and let the shoulders just kind of drop down. Keep imagining your spine. Now breathe in and imagine your spine lengthening and flattening out a little bit. Draw your navel in at the same time. Let the breath go. And twice more. Breathing in deeply, imagining your spine flattening out, getting just a little bit longer, so there'll be a sensation of the head rising. Draw the navel in and let it go. One last time. Breathe in really deeply. Keep drawing the breath in as long as you can do that without straining. And once you feel like you're nice and tall in the upper body, draw the navel in just for that little extra bit at the end. And then let it all go. And bring your hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I wish you a wonderful day. Join me in offering loving kindness to all beings everywhere. May you be happy, well, and safe, and may you be peaceful and at ease. Namaste.